Hello viewers, and here we are now looking at a pro handling video on MotoGP 2013 then. So riding as Valentino Rossi around Mugello, and now we have an even more sensitive handling model than we had in the semi-pro. We also have different brakes now, so we have the front and rear brakes depending on the corner, and we're looking to try and maximise performance of this. So straight away you have all that power to contend with. I'm not using the automatic, no, I am using the automatic tuck-in here because it's enough for me just to cope with the brakes at the moment, but there's so much more layers of detail that you can add to this if you want to. But you can see now that the bike has a lot more body language to it than it does on the standard model. You can see that applying the power for me, it's now a real learning process of how quick you can go and how quick you can apply that power, and it means you need to do lots and lots of laps. By the time you make it to the pro standard, if you're going to make it to the pro standard, you're going to need to have done hundreds of laps, and you can see here that even with all the laps I've done, we were starting on lap 3 this time because we actually takes to lap 7 this time to really understand the bike and put in a very basic lap. There's still so much to discover. You're discovering the braking points, you're discovering how the bike works in turning, how to apply the power on the exit, where the bike needs to turn in early, which brakes work and which corner. So the braking is always progressive. You're always applying brakes and then a bit more as you close on the corner. Otherwise you're going to end up, when you apply both your brakes, you will always end up flying over your handlebars. So you've really got to understand what brakes you need. And at the moment on this particular video, I'm braking way too much for the corners. I'm braking too much and I don't have it yet. So I would say that it would probably take me an extra 20 laps to really understand this handling model and make something that was consistent and solid, but certainly not a lap time that was spectacular. So falling again there. Again, I was braking too much for turn 1. I was seeing how late I could brake into the corner and did a little Marquez into turn 1. That's where, of course, Rossi fell off this weekend. Great to see Cal Crutchlow though getting his 3rd place despite his injuries and suffering from hay fever throughout the weekend, managing to pick up 3rd place there. Great for Satellite Yamaha hard team. Hopefully next year he will be on a works bike. We don't know. He might leave. Sounds like he's leaving Tech 3 and moving, but we don't know where to yet. There's rumours of Suzuki, or even rumours of Yamaha. So it depends really on how Rossi gets on this year. And so far this year hasn't been a great one for him, has to be said. But some of that's been down to a little bit of bad luck as well. And I think that his race trim is often better than his qualifying, and I think that's always been a story with Rossi. But Rossi's someone who's always been able to fall down the pack and work his way back up again. But it's tough. It's tough. You know, these guys are all very quick. Marc Marquez is a very quick rider. Of course, unlucky really. I mean, he made that mistake, and we don't really know what led to that mistake, but certainly cost him a podium place. You can see here where the bike's moving around a lot now. What's accentuated here is the suspension in the bike as well. I'm putting load onto the front and rear, and because I've unbalanced the bike, that's why it's moving around and it's going into that kind of motion. You need to slow down so that you get control of the bike and then speed up again. And that's what I'm talking about in terms of the last video, in terms of flow. You need to keep the bike nice and steady and the way it's moving, otherwise it's going to start, whoa, you know, you're on the power and you've not got your balance there and it starts sort of oscillating under you, and that's no good. But that's part of the skill of riding with the pro handling model. Whoa, bike moving around a lot there, trying to get on the brakes late, get it into turn 1, gently on the power. Trying to get the back end out, but it's coming out a bit too much, got on the power a bit too quickly. It's all progressive. It's all progressive. I think if you're going to play on this handling mode, you're going to need to be really progressive with it. I will be talking about other elements of the game though. There's lots to come in our previews. We're going to cover every element of it. I know people often talk to me about the sound. Actually, the sound isn't too bad, actually, when you actually... the bikes have a slightly... I think what it is, this takes me to another subject, which is audio in games, and Gran Turismo having bad audio as well. And what it is, they record the audio directly with a mic, probably not unlike this one. And what this does, it compresses audio. So sometimes it's better to have audio with a little bit of distortion, because our ears are actually a bit rubbish. We don't hear things as they actually are. We hear a distorted sound that we can pick up, and I think sometimes the mics pick up on a lot more sound than we're actually hearing, which compresses the audio, changes the sound, doesn't sound as good. I think it's something that game studios really need to work on in terms of improving their audio. But coming around these final few corners now, so this was a very basic lap with the Pro handling model, and there'll be loads more coverage to follow now, looking at analysis of these laps and the handling and when the mistakes were and everything else, and then more on the game, racing through the game, developing our skills, checking out the different riders and looking at the progression process as well. But that's it from this video. As ever, more from me very soon.